Alice is the second daughter to Edward and Elizabeth Chandler. She was born in the year 1780. She met Finian when she was 16 and he was 32. After they married, she inherited his surname, Von Taylor. They were deeply in love, but Finian wasn't always kind and loving. Alice often painted as a way to escape his outbursts. In 1798 they had a son. They named him Bartholomew. In 1799 they had another son named Godfrey. Then in 1801 they had their final child, Kane. Together they were the Von Taylors. Through the years Finian became more abusive. Alice was often the victim to it. But as the boys aged they had also become victims to it. Finian did not hold back against his sons. He showed them no affection and had zero tolerance for misbehavior. Godfrey often hid in his room to avoid his father. Finian was easily provoked by Kane, who was a little younger. Because of this, Kane would pick fights with his brother to feel better. Alice was their only moral compass. Unlike Alice, they had an escape. The boys liked to explore whenever their father was angry. They always argued and broke into fights. The boys enjoyed their freedom and would stay out late. One night, Kane and Bartholomew got into an argument. Godfrey started to drown. Bartholomew and Kane were too busy to notice their brother in danger. When they finally did, it was too late. Godfrey Von Taylor passed away in 1810 at just 9 years old. Kane felt bad for being so mean to his brother. He blamed himself for his death. After Godfrey's death, the boys were no longer allowed out. Alice often went into Godfrey's room. Part of her expected him to be there. Finian started to drink a lot more. He would take his anger out on Alice and the boys. He blamed them for Godfrey's death. One night he couldn't control himself. He had strangled her until she fell lifeless to the floor. When he realized what he had done, it was too late. Unfortunately, Alice passed away in 1810. She was 30. The boys mourned her while Finian stayed home. Kane blamed his father for his mother's death and became a very angry person. He got into many fights as a release. That didn't change as the years passed. He was still upset about the death of his brother and mother. He despised his brother for moving on and hated his father for never talking about it. Meanwhile, Bartholomew found love. Her name was Jane Silversweater and she was stunning. Bartholomew was completely in love with her. He asked her to marry him and she said yes. He moved her in and introduced her to the family. During that time, Finian had caught a deadly illness. Most of his time was spent ill in his room. However, Jane seemed very fond of Kane, and he was fond of her. They started an affair behind Bartholomew's back. It didn't take long before Bartholomew grew suspicious. When he confronted Jane, she confessed the truth. He was really upset by this. But despite his emotions, he forgave her. He was more upset with Kane. As much as he told him off, Kane didn't care. Bartholomew grew frustrated and hit him, but Kane's temper was worse than his. Jane was shocked to see what Kane had done and gave him a piece of her mind. Still, she was head over heels for him. She later told Bartholomew that Kane was who she truly loved and ended their engagement. Around the same time, Finian had passed away. Bartholomew started drinking as Jane's love for his brother grew. They were happy and he hated it. The worst part for him was Kane didn't love her the way he did. Still, they were expected to marry soon. Bartholomew knew he couldn't be his brother, so he came up with another way to get rid of him. He had Kane's favorite meal prepared with a secret ingredient. Kane sat down and ate as he normally would. He enjoyed it, but it made him a little nauseous. He went to bed that night with an upset stomach. Later, Kane woke up with a terrible feeling. The pain was so unbearable that it killed him. Jane didn't realize that he was gone until the next morning. Kane had passed away at 16 years old in 1817. Jane was absolutely devastated. Bartholomew was there for her and their love resurfaced. He soon proposed to her again, and she said yes. They moved into a new estate where they were married. Jane discovered she was pregnant very early in their marriage. When she broke the news to Bartholomew, he seemed excited. But Jane knew that baby was Kane's and was afraid to tell that to Bartholomew, so she kept that to herself. If you enjoy these stories, please subscribe for more. In the next video, we will be returning to the third daughter of the Chandler family.